Okay, so it's going to be kind of a short video because I was sick last night and I didn't get much sleep or any sleep really. Um, but I wanted to tell you guys some fun stories about getting recognized in strip clubs. I have some not so fun stories about getting recognized in strip clubs where like people who recognized me who didn't like me would try to like do mean things to me in the strip club. We'll just ignore that for now. Um, I I grew up in a small town, so I started dancing in a small town. And in a small town, everybody kind of knows everybody else's business. So there was never any sense of, oh, people aren't going to find out that I'm an exotic dancer. It's kind of like everybody knew. Everybody in my graduating class sooner or later ended up filtering into the strip club. They'd see me, they'd recognize me, it would be like, you know, hi. um, and I mean, I knew that going into it because, everybody knows everybody else's business in a small town. Now, they don't always get that information correct, but they're always up in each other's business. So, I I had many, many nights, especially when I first started dancing, where people would come in and they would either recognize me or I would recognize them. And because I was never particularly inclined to hide my job from people, it never really bothered me, but I can tell you it bothered a few people. Three in particular. The first one was my driver's ed instructor from high school. He came in with a group of guys. They were all hanging out. He saw me and he hid behind his beer, which if you've ever seen a fully grown man attempting to hide behind a beer, it's pretty pathetic. It's pretty hilarious. But he was trying as hard as he could to make that beer work as like an entire full body shield so that I wouldn't notice him. And I was on stage, I saw him, and I saw him hiding behind his beer, which was really, really funny. And I got down at the end of my set and I went straight over to him and I was like, hi! And he was really uncomfortable, like talking to me because I was a former student and it just didn't seem right. It was too weird for him. And so like, it was kind of hilarious because I didn't care, I was working, I was doing a job. People have jobs, they earn money with their jobs and they work, and I mean, what's the big deal? Another one was this really, really somewhat neurotic girl from one of the churches that I got roped into going to when I was young. She was very, very fundamentalist and very emphatic about her Christian beliefs. She was one of those young people who got converted over to Christianity and they were really, really, really hyperly excited about it, but maybe not. I mean, I grew up Episcopalian, so I mean, we went to church, we did the sit, stand, kneel kind of thing all the time, and it was just, I mean, it was normal, My dad had let's see, what did he have? My dad had a master's degree in, was it theology? Master of Arts in Religion, MAR. So I mean, he loved talking about this stuff with us. I mean, I grew up talking about, ideas about, Christianity, ideas about spirituality, ideas about faith. And so, when I would go to these churches and people were really, 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 really excited because they had just found Jesus, it's like, calm down, Episcopalian and these days Catholic. So, somber, just calm down, slow down here. But she, when I was in junior high and high school with her, she was just very a little bit hyper about her religious beliefs and very, very loud about them. And so I remember like one time in the cafeteria, I used the term devil's advocate correctly, by the way. I used it correctly, but I guess she had never heard the term devil's advocate. And so she jumped up and started screaming at me at the top of her lungs that we will reject the devil at every turn. Like, just, the devil is evil and we're going to say no to the devil and you need to say no to the devil and we're going to say no to the devil and the devil is bad and we need to stop the devil and from doing all the things the devil wants to do and whatever. She was so busy yelling at me that all her words kind of blurred together a little bit. And eventually one of the cafeteria ladies came over and told us that we needed to be quiet, which I thought was kind of annoying because I wasn't the one who was shouting, so why was she telling me to be quiet? But yeah, this girl eventually turned 21. And one night she showed up at the strip club. And she had a friend, and the two of them walked up to the bar. And I mean, I saw her walking in, and I couldn't believe it, because it was like, I mean, this was the kind of, really, really insane, crazy, very, you need to do everything exactly according to the Bible, you have to consult Jesus before you pick out which pair of shoes you're going to be wearing to school this morning kind of girl. And so, like, seeing her in a strip club, I was just kind of like, what happened here? And she walked in, and I was on stage, and she noticed me at some point. Okay, my camera cut off for a minute. Had to figure out what was wrong. I swear this is a video that does not want to happen. Anyway, she recognized me, and all of a sudden, from across the bar, in her very recognizable loud and shrill voice, "Oh my God, she saw me!" Which was, hilarious. And I didn't go up to talk to her because I kind of found her a rather unpleasant person. But I remember looking at her like, what on earth are you doing here? Like, I understand that anybody can go into a strip club, but when you're acting all holier than thou, isn't it a little bit hypocritical? Just wondering. The third time I got recognized that made somebody really, really uncomfortable was this guy I'd gone to high school with, who was like a year older than me, like a grade above me. And he and I had taken some classes together. And I remember in one class in particular, he sat behind me, like he would sit directly behind me. And so he and I would chat every once in a while. And so I was really excited when I saw him. I was like, hey, and I'm waving at him. And he's with a group of friends, and he very carefully turns around away from me, facing away from the stage, and sits down, facing away from the stage to talk with his friends. So, I finish my set, and I go over to say hi to him, because it's like, well, I haven't seen you in forever. How are you doing? And that's when he starts doing the thing where they like, kind of try to avoid looking at you. And I was like, hi, how are you doing? He's like, I can't be talking to you right now. I can't be looking at you right now. I was like, why? I'm in a skimpy dress. It's not like I'm naked. So, why? He's like, I used to cheat off your homework. I was like, what does that have to do with anything? He's like, you don't understand. I used to cheat off your homework. I was like, okay. That was all the conversation I could get out of him. I never saw him again. That was the very last time I ever saw that guy. Like, I don't really even know what that means. Like, yeah, I knew you were probably copying down stuff off my homework, and it does not surprise me at all that you were, copying down my answers on tests. I had an A in that class, actually, consistently. But yeah, that's funny to me. Like, I don't even know what that means, but apparently it was enough to really weird him out, and he just did not want to talk to me while I was dressed in, in a skimpy. I was wearing a dress. It was a dress. So those are 3 times that I have been recognized in strip clubs that were just, fun and hilarious, and really, really uncomfortable, I guess, for the other people who were recognizing me, and not at all bothersome to me. So it was fun times. I will talk to you guys later.